right. Well, welcome everybody to another Gypsy Road Journey into the Unknown. It's a Friday, and today we're going to be talking Bigfoot with Mannimal Research. Awesome YouTube channel. He's been here before. And if anybody goes in the chat, if you look, I have their channel right here, Mannimal Research. There's their YouTube page, and they also have a .com page. If you go to their YouTube page, they have all the information there. So they also have a .com page. And let me tell you guys, right off the bat, Bob and I has done a lot of research. We have talked to a lot of people. And one of the things I will say about this organization, Mannimal Research, is they're the real deal. I watch a lot of their videos. Sometimes I'll say hi in the chat, or sometimes I'll watch behind the scenes. And what I like is they're just real people. They're not like if you haven't heard of them before, a lot of them probably have. If you haven't, they're not like Ghost Adventures where they overdo
the example.
They're honest. They tell you what they saw, they see, and they got great videos. So I really recommend you guys check out their channel. Here, let me just pull up their channel just so you guys kind of know what it looks like. Okay, so there it is. Mannimal Research. I'm gonna click on videos, and you can see they got tons of great videos. Bigfoot, Mississippi Sasquatch, Tennessee Bigfoot, more Pennsylvania. So they got Bigfoot stories. And, last time they were on, we talked about how they were kind of shut down by the United States. And that was a very interesting show. So you guys can even go back to our catalog when we first had them on and check out that video too, because we had some great conversations. And I wanted to back on because I wanted to see what has happened since then. And one last thing before we get into this, let me go back here. I did put up a poll up. Now, I didn't put it up last night. I should have. I would have got more votes, but I put it this morning. I had to fix electrical issues, blah, blah, blah. But let me pull up the poll so far that I have. So let me hit refresh on this poll that I have up. I wanted to know what people think about Bigfoot. Okay, so like I said, so far only 20 people voted because I just put it up this morning. But I wrote just simple, do you believe in Bigfoot? Okay, and these are the categories that I put on here. And please, people, please vote all day on it. I'll update the information throughout the show, or I'll update it on Monday. Well, so far, out of 20 votes, 45% says yes. Okay, now 0% says no. Okay, now the third is don't know yet, which is fair. If you're one of those kind of people that have to see it for yourself to believe it, I respect that. And the fourth one is very popular here. Bigfoot is half alien and half Bob, because we all learned that Bob had DNA taken from him by aliens. So 50% of everybody believes that a Bigfoot is half alien and half Bob.
You think that's what they are? Shoot.
Well, Bob, they've spoken.
Yeah.
They've spoken. But the good news is, even though I put that in as a little joke, just for a little fun, but nobody put no. So it tells me that people do believe somewhat in a Bigfoot, and like right here, there were some comments here already. Oz10 wrote, sure, do, man, especially where I'm at. Tons of unnamed wilderness here. So Oz10 believes there's a Bigfoot, and a good friend, maybe it's Mandela. Absolutely. I have seen a freaking pterosaur here in West Michigan. These things really do exist still, 100%. So there's people even leaving comments that, they believe in this.
Yeah.
Says,
I know.
Hi, boy. How have you been? Yeah, I'm on certain of many who wants to see the truth for sure Bigfoot. If anyone can, I think you find that dingy, stinky thing. It's a banging hit a seek. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
They stink. Some of them stink. Yeah. I've heard that a lot. Yeah, they stink. Well, we'll ask him. He'll tell us if they stink. He'll nod yes or no. Okay, he's not a yes.
But throughout the first hour, so please, people, throughout the first hour, if you haven't put in a vote, put it in there. If you don't want to put in a chat, you're embarrassed, that's fine. Like Scott Barron says, I believe. Now, we're going to do things differently today's show. Is it Mandela Effect or mental illness? What the fuck news in Grandpa's world? We're going to do that in the second hour because we only got him for 1 hour. So we're going to go to the main topic right off the bat. Okay. Now, so the first step is how's it been since last time you came on? Have you been on any research since you've been on with us last time?
Yeah, we've been doing well. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come back. And again, get out of the way. I appreciate the kind words to open the show. I really appreciate that. We do put in a lot of time, a lot of effort into not only putting out the program that we do every Monday night, but also what sets us apart a little bit from the other guys is we actually get out in the field. Like you were saying, we get out in the woods and we do our own research. And not only is that beneficial, but we really feel like getting out in the woods and putting your boots on the ground, doing the research, that's all well and good. But when you combine that with speaking with eyewitnesses, people that have encountered them firsthand, that's when you start to connect the dots. That's when that's where you really can learn about them. So that's what we try to do every Monday night. We have guests on, either researchers or people that have witnessed them themselves, and just share their behavior, their characteristics, because all the field research in the world, unless you see them and how they conduct themselves, how do they handle themselves, it's not going to tell you anything. The people that have witnessed them, those are the ones that can tell you. So that's what we try to do.
Since you've been on, Bob and I has done a bunch of shows on everything. I mean, on every topic. We've done on skinwalkers. We have done them on dogmen. Just a variety. And, after learning everything, who knows what you really are seeing out there? People who think it's a skinwalker could be a Bigfoot or vice versa. Or there's even stories that people believe that, I'm not saying they do exist, a werewolf exists. Do they think a werewolf is a Bigfoot? So,
well, my experience is the people that tend to say werewolf. I mean, what is the difference in a werewolf and a dog man? Really, people are claiming to see dog man, and when they talk about a dog man, all they're explaining to me is what we grew up watching in the movies is werewolves, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of class those two together, but my thinking is, and I could be way wrong. I've caught flack from this before, but I think the people that are seeing dog man, it's just a misidentified Bigfoot. That's just my opinion. I probably am very way off, but that's my opinion, because people, they're a lot smarter than me, been doing this a lot longer, and may believe that there are different classes of Sasquatch, like different types. And maybe the dog man, what people are seeing and classifying as dog man, maybe that's a type of Bigfoot that we're just not as familiar with. So, I mean, that's my thinking.
Oh, I mean, who says? I mean, I know this is a movie, but when you watch Solo, the Star Wars movie, and you saw a bunch of Wookiees, I know I'm talking about Wookiees. They all look different. Some more hairy, some less, some different colors. So I'm just saying that, you don't know because they couldn't look different. I mean, if a dog has puppies, right? 5 puppies, all 5 puppies look different with different colors, different shapes. One's bigger, one's smaller. So, I mean, Bigfoots are no different than that. I mean, there's even stories of the Jersey Devil. I mean, all we know, the Jersey Devil is just another Bigfoot that, since it's in Jersey, people in Jersey and New York like to hype up things. Hey, that was named to it. I mean, unless you're having problems with
the stinky ones.
Some people think Bob's Bigfoot. He just shaved.
Yeah, well, he looked like a Bigfoot too, so he'd be mistaken just as easy. We'd be running around the woods. Hey, man, if you wear a coonskin hat or like a mountain man skin hat, you'd look like a damn he looked like a Bigfoot. He's like out there. Hey,
yeah.
Eric is saying you're a Wookiee, by the way. I'm not calling our guest and Bob a Wookiee, but I'm just saying if there are Wookiees out there. I mean, it is.
My favorite character in Star Wars is the Wookiee. I like it. I like him the best. So hey, that's a compliment.
Well, remember, I know this is off topic, but the Wookiee character came from because George Lucas used to drive around with his big dog looking out the window. So when he made a co-pilot, he thought, why not kind of make a dog into a human type? And that's where Chewbacca came from a dog.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Yes, that is a fact. He used to drive in his not Medford, but where he used to do a lot of car racing up Fresno, the town. What's that town called, Bob? Fresno?
Oh, outside of Fresno, there's Clovis.
No. Where the famous car racing goes, where they did American Graffiti in.
Oh. I thought that was in Fresno. That wasn't in Fresno?
That was
Clovis, and then there's not Madera.
No, it starts with an M. Not Madera, it starts with an M. I'm Mendota. I don't know. Who cares?
It's a Modesto?
Modesto?
Modesto. Yes. Okay. That's where Chewbacca came from, Modesto. He was driving Modesto with his dog. He thought, man, why not have Han Solo with the co-pilot that's your best friend, a dog, an animal?
Modesto.
And I do got to apologize to Wayne because anybody who looks at the thumbnail noticed that we're all Star Trek characters searching for Bigfoot, right? Now, Bob, he's in the red shirt of a Star Trek. What does that mean when he's in a red shirt? And I should have put him in a red shirt. I feel bad about it. But when you're in Star Trek and you're in a red shirt, Bob, what does that mean?
He's first to go. I mean, he's the first to be taken by an alien or somehow snuffed out, because in Star Wars, the red shirt is, well, actually, remember the red shirt are, they're the soldiers. So he's a soldier. He's the badass guy. He's got the phaser on kill. So he's got the phaser on kill. But the problem is that I think they know that in these movies, though, in Star Trek. We're going way off subject, but they know that the guy in the red shirt has the phaser on kill.
Well, in Star Trek TV series, whenever you have a new guest, they put them in the red color, and they're the ones who die first. So when I apologize for putting you in the red shirt, I should have put you in the blue and put Bob in the red shirt.
I'll take one for the team, guys. It's fine. It's fine.
But guys, I pulled up from a web page called the 10 most convincing Bigfoot sightings, and I thought that I would show this, and I want to get your opinions on some of this, because I was looking at some of these pictures and stuff, and I thought some of this was already debunked. So I want to see if you think it's been debunked or whatever. Hey, here's a Bigfoot whisper right here. You dudes are cool. Wish we had guys like you over on East North Carolina. Well, hey, I actually used to live in Maryland for a while, and I also used to live in upstate New York for a while. And I was stationed in the Coast Guard in Cape May, New Jersey. So I'm familiar with most of the East Coast, because my wife was raised on the East Coast. So every other year, I actually gotta go to the East Coast. So let me pull up this thing right here. Okay, here we go. Now, this is called the 10 most convincing Bigfoot sightings. And This first picture, I thought this picture was debunked.
No. That's the Holy Grail right there.
But didn't some guy come out and say they actually had a TV show and came out and said
he did, but I don't believe it.
There's been so many people over the years to claim that they wore the suit, but no one's ever been able to produce the suit. This is the Patterson-Gimlin film. That's Patty that you're looking at right there. This is the Holy Grail. This was shot in 1967 by Patterson and Gimlin in California, Bluff Creek, I believe. I'm not for sure. But this is the gold standard right here, guys. There have been so many people a lot smarter than I am break this thing down, and it cannot be proven as a hoax. You can see the muscles moving underneath the hair when you blow it up, and just this is 100% authentic in my book, and most people would agree with that.
Now, this is a 1967 film shot by Roger Patterson and Bob Grimlin in North California, The Bigfoot Walk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe what I saw was a guy claiming a hoax. Yeah, like I said, that's why I wanted to talk to you to see this one.
Now,
this is the one we know the most. This is the one
Yeah, they were actually on horseback. And this is brought up, in my opinion, if somebody could get out there on horseback and do expeditions, because these guys were out in the woods for a couple weeks at a time. They were out there. They stunk to high heaven. They weren't able to bathe. They're riding around on horseback and stuff. And a lot of people believe, including myself, that that's how they were able to get this close to one and for it to walk away. That the Bigfoot smelled a horse, basically. The men's scent was masked. It didn't smell like human. So she didn't know. In my opinion, she didn't know that two humans were nearby. She thought it was horses, and she was coming out to check out why there were horses around. And then she sees them like, oh, crap, there's guys on these horses, and she turns around and walks away. That's my opinion of what happened.
You said it right. A lot of people were shocked. They were talking about nobody ever mentioned she. In fact, you're the only one I've ever heard said she. They always talk about Bigfoot in a general term, and everyone, but all of a sudden, everyone's like, hey, we just found out that this Bigfoot is a female, and everyone's like, well, when did that happen? Well,
you can see her boobs.
You can see the breasticles on
Yeah.
The mammals are right there. You can see them when she's walking. She's obviously had babies or something.
And also, 1967, it's harder to counterfeit a picture in those days than it is now, because this footage been out way before now. This footage been out forever. So to Photoshop now is easy, but it
was not possible in 1967. And it was either the year after, the year before, or something like that. I believe, I could be mistaken, somebody correct me if I am, but the Planet of the Apes, the original one, I believe won the Academy Award for Best Costume Design. And it was either the year after this or the year before. And those costumes don't compare to that, in my opinion. In 1967, they did not have the ability to develop a costume that looks that realistic, in my opinion. And it was later on the man that designed the costumes for the Planet of the Apes. Again, I could be wrong here. I'm just going off my memory from a while back.
It says right here, Planets of the Apes, Academy Award, USA 1969 winner, Honorary Award, John Chambers, for his outstanding makeup achievements in this movie. So you are 100% correct.
Yeah, and they asked him about it years later, and he said that there was no way he could have produced something back then that looked like this does. And that's coming from the man that won the Academy Award for Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, they didn't have a silicone base at that. They had like rubber. They were doing everything. All the movies were being made from hard rubber, like regular rubber, and you could tell it's rubber. Like Ed Wood, Eric, they're making all the rubber stuff. This is detailed. And it's funny also, you should say about on the side now, I debunk. And the funny thing was debunking. They had all these guys step up and claim, what I'm talking about. Well, I wore the suit. Well, I wore that. They had pictures of the suit. But what they failed to add was, and this is why I stressed the fact that you were correct. You said female. Not one of them had breasts on it. And why would they make the extra effort to add breasts? You're going to make let's face it, you're a guy. You're going to make a Bigfoot out. Guess what a guy does? Makes a Bigfoot outfit. He's going to run around. It's going to be a big old Bigfoot monster. But every one of them, hands down, was presenting a fake costume or trying to present a fake costume, but not one of them was a female. And you're like, well, wait a minute, guys. Now you've got the wrong gender on your costume because the one that you're trying to present is female. Obviously, you would have made a female version of it, but nobody's provided the female fake costume. It was all males. Yeah. So that was like, okay, the fake guys were called out like, did you not look at the footage close enough, dude? You got the fake, you got the costume wrong.
And something else, if you'll pay close attention to, if you watch the video, the terrain right there looks pretty rough. right? I mean, we would all agree that's pretty rough terrain that this thing's walking across. And if you watch the way this thing never looks down at its steps, if you put a man in a costume with, holes that big and in terrain like that, you're going to be looking down at where you're stepping. You're going to be careful where you place your feet, your steps and everything. She's just gliding. She's not looking down. She don't have a care in the world except for get away from these guys.
Yep. And
there's just so much that speaks to this being real.
And I wish I could
play that signature walk.
Yeah, I wish I could play that footage.
They glide. They don't do a bob. Men and women will bob when they walk. They kind of have a women will have that attractive bobble walk. Men will have that I'm cool walker, John, whatever. They show footage of the actual convincing footage. They're seamlessly glide with their feet, like you said. They'll just keep an eye on you and glide perfectly, as like almost. I'm like, no, this has got to be CGI. This is the problem I had, because it was so seamless as they walk, without even a bob or a move. They just have this walk with them, no bouncing.
And as we as humans, as we walk, you never see the bottom of our feet, the soles of our feet. With every step she took, you can see the entire bottom sole of her foot. It's because they walk a different way. If you look at Dr. Jeff Meldrum, all of his studies and stuff that he presents, that's his big thing. They just walk differently than humans do. If you can find the video and watch it, you can see the entire bottom of her foot with every step. And then go out and walk yourself and see if you can see it. You can't.
Yeah, literally walk the walk. Sasquatch hunters can tell if there's a guy in a suit. I've heard them say, well, I can tell if it's a guy in a suit. Well, how? They didn't want to say what it was for the longest time. Finally, somebody let the beans out of the bag and says, well, it's the way they walk. Mm-hmm. Oh, what's the way they walked? And the secret came out that they glide. And then once you see it for the first time, like, holy shit, they glide when they walk. They're seamless. They just walk smooth. No matter what the terrain is, no matter what rocks, they just walk smooth.
This is a close picture.
Yeah, you see the breasts?
You see the boobs?
Yeah. Now that's a Mandela effect called out for a lot of people out there. I'm not going to go on that wagon. But like, I never had breasts in my time. Well, here they are now, regardless of what you say. And you can see them real clear. It's real clear. That's what actually, again, that's what saved the integrity of this video. As stupid as it may keep bringing it up, because all the people that brought up the shit were all male. They're all male copies. They're like, no, you got it wrong. You can see right here.
Yeah, and I wish I could play the footage, but the footage is owned, and if you play it, they can actually take down your video. So that's why I can't play the video, because it is actually owned. So somebody wants to make money, and they have the right to pull your video down. But that's amazing. We got, like Bob, like you said, you can see the movie. You can see. And if we go back to like you're saying about Planet of the Apes, now that's 1969. This is 1967. So even in 2 years, special effects changed dramatically. And even with this footage, 67, in the movie 69 doesn't even look that real as this one. And that's 2 years after this picture was shown. Because in 2 years, technology changes that quick, where it catches up.
Amazing. Those thighs are just muscle.
And look how long those arms are, too.
Long. And their balance. She uses them for the balance. She swings them for the balance.
Oh, right there. I mean,
there it is.
I'll play here because they can't get me on this.
Yeah. Somebody can't make that one bigger.
Yeah. Too bad that stuff's in the way. You could see what I was talking about with the feet, how you can see the bottom.
Yeah. Looks like each leg actually comes up off the ground.
Yes.
That's how strong legs are.
See if this one's bigger.
They're just built differently than us.
Oh, look at that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That was a really good one. When you watch her left foot raised there at the beginning, you can see right there. Well,
stays within stays in a not vertical straight up, but stays at a slight bend with the legs.
Yeah.
And what
This
did I say?
seamless.
M.K. Davis has done a detailed study of this film and outlines a huge amount of information he uncovered. Okay.
MK Davis has a lot on this footage, and MK Davis is respected in the Bigfoot community. He does a lot with movies and clips and stuff like that.
And right here, shoulder blades move too.
Everything. You see all the muscles in detail. It's
Yeah, what are
perfect.
the muscles in the back? Is it trapezoids? I mean, I'm not sure what this is, but you can see them moving underneath the fur or the hair.
And this person is, you can see the muscles move. That doesn't happen in a cheap suit. They're right.
Oh, there's
And
no
that's a
suit
cheap
there.
suit. Remember, guys, this is 1967. They don't have the stuff like we do to make suits look more real.
That's
mean,
just
shit.
one big
We
lady.
watched superhero movies in the 80s that the suits look crappy. And this is
Yeah.
1967.
Imagine if she was your wife. Nobody would mess.
And I forget. I think it was something like they did a size comparison, and this was done scientifically by scientists. The person walking in this was like 7'6". That is guaranteed. That the person walking right there was 7'6" tall. Where is that person at that was wearing this costume in Northern California in 1967?
Long arms, hands, long fingers, long wrists.
Yeah,
For
that's
clutching.
crazy. And this looks like the original cut before they kind of
Look at the swing the hands. That's just stuff for balance. You could just imagine grab anything and throw it with them arms and that back. Just throw. Because I know one of the things that they report, I can't say they do, is they'd like to take trees and turn them out, pull them out by the roots and turn them upside down and put them into the ground upside down to mark territories. Okay,
that
that's
one
true
right there. This one right here is another excellent example of Bigfoot. That was marble.
It says a youth group was camping in the Marble Mountain wilderness.
Marble Mountain.
When leader Jim Mills noticed a strange-looking creature skulking along a ridge nearby. He filmed it nearly 7 minutes, making a somewhat grainy footage, the longest video of an alleged book sighting. And let me put this internet page in the chat in case people want to look it up themselves, because it's kind of cool. It's kind of got good stuff on it.
That one has always been up there, in my opinion, in the top 3 or 4 or 5 sightings of all time. This was a youth group. They found what looked like a ground nest in an area, and a nest where something had been laying, and all of the branches and the sticks, limbs that were used to make this were all broken off. They weren't sawed or cut. And as they were examining this structure, one of them looks up on a ridge, and man, it seems like it's a mile away. And one of them notices this thing walking back and forth on top of this ridge, and he looks pissed off. He's throwing his hands around. He's not happy that those people are there. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was like 7 minutes long, so it was a lot of footage that you get to examine.
Don't like people hanging around there.
Mm-hmm.
People think to them.
If you look at the picture, you see his front. It's got a nice little curve, got a perfect curve. But then you look in his back, got like a big bump curve. Like that'd be hard. Like if you're wearing a suit, right? If you're wearing a suit, what I'm talking about is if you're wearing a suit, he made the front like perfect, but in the back you got this big bump. That'd be hard to do, especially walking down a mountain to keep that shape.
Yeah.
If you guys get what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those are the glute muscles, man. Those are just straight up glute muscles, man. That's solid ass muscle. That's a walking muscle machine.
I mean, if you ask me, that looks more like an alien to me, you know? That doesn't look really human. I mean, it's human because it's walking on 2 legs, but that's shaped weird. It's not shaped like us.
Well, it has the legs.
Where is Marble Mountain Wilderness?
I was in California too, I believe. Oregon, Washington, one of the West Coast states.
I'm trying to see. Marble Wilderness. California.
Northern California.
Okay. Northern California, yeah. Yeah, maybe one of the reasons why there was started seeing so many sightings is because, I mean, I'm just throwing a guess, man. This is just me. Eric and I used to hunt years when we were kids, all up in those areas, all up in California, all them areas. We've been way up in the mountains. And one of the cool things is that, it's not cool. I'm going to say this again. It's not cool that in the history of California, the state animal was the grizzly bear. And they had the mountain men had killed them all. They just killed all the grizzly bear natives in the mountain. And anybody up there, the gold miners, they just wiped out all the grizzly bear. So one of the main predators up there was gone. So I just saying maybe in my educated guess that they're able to thrive a lot easier without that grizzly bear. Now there's still brown bear, but these guys are probably tower over the brown bear. Yeah. They're 7 foot. Grizzly or brown bear aren't that big.
And here we go. We got a British explorer, Eric Eel Shipton, snapped this photo while trekking through the Himalayas in 1951.
Left foot.
Alleged that the footprint belonged to a Yeti, which technically a Yeti is a Bigfoot. In 2014, Christie's auction house in London capitalized on the worldwide interest in Bigfoot and sold the original photo for nearly $5,000. Wow.
Wow. For just the photo. Wow.
Wow. 1951.
That's
51.
A Yeti. Wasn't there a skull cap up there in Tibet? I guess somebody said they had a skull cap of a Yeti that they were hiding up there.
Somebody said they had I heard about the hand. Somebody said they had a Yeti hand. I've never heard a skull or a skull cap.
I remember it was at a show. They talked about the hand and the skull. And the skull at the time I remember looking at it was like it was elongated on it, weirdly enough. And a lot of people talk about the elongated skulls. It was the skull cap, if it was real. I'm going to stress this, people, if it was real.
Yeah,
I can't see a bunch of monks lying. They're not going to benefit from it. So, they're Tibetan monks, and it's kind of frowned in their culture, if we want to admit it. But they had this it had a kind of I know that apes have what they call a Newcomb's crest, which is like you see here. It's like a ridge down the center of the skull, kind of like this line you see on my hat. And this thing actually had what I call a Newcomb's crest running across the top, and it was a little bit elongated. I go, elongated skull on the Yeti, which goes back to maybe some of them elongated skulls that we see all the time in little clips of movies or investigations.
The only thing I would say about this photo is I'm trying to see if he has like multiple pictures, because if you really only got 1 foot, shouldn't there be like 2 feet, one by one next to each other? I don't see any other
what they stood on.
I don't see any other photos with additional feet.
That's a question that a lot of people have, because that you do run into that. I've run into that out in the field. Is you'll see a footprint, and you know that there should be another one nearby, but there's not.
I can see that, but this is in the snow, so
exactly.
So you're gonna with the weight of a Yeti, you're gonna have a dent in snow, unless you're hopping on 1 foot. Unless he's a 1 foot Yeti.
A lot of people will use that as evidence to suggest that there's something more to them, that they're not just physical, that they have this ability to,
This is why
I forget what the word they use.
This is why we research, and that's why we investigate. We want
number one. You guys can see that it's not deep in the snow, which means it's shallow. That means that snow is shallow. It's on a rocky surface or some. There's not going to be no mud there, I don't imagine. So it's shallow, which means that's a lot of weight for that damn thing. So if it's that shallow, that means it's probably got a thin amount of snow, which maybe the other area is just there's no snow at all. Don't know what else to say about it.
Well, it being that shallow, it could have been there's more recent snowfall falling in to fill the print. Yeah.
Yep.
That's another good one right there.
This one is called the Independence Day film. The remarkably clear video shows an alleged adult Bigfoot walking through the woods with the cub in tow. The filmmaker and exact location are unknown, and many skeptics claim that there is a telling visible scene of a gorilla suit. I mean, no matter what, you're gonna have skeptics in anything.
Exactly.
You're gonna have skeptics. You're gonna have the truthers, the fakers, the wannabes. You're gonna have everybody coming out and say that's real, that's not. This is why. Like Bob, it's like I told you before. I can find science on stuff that proves that it is real, and then I can find scientists to prove that
it's not real. Yeah, it's just that's why we put it to everybody's discernment. Here we go. We're going to present it, and you use your own, because no matter how hard you try, a skeptic's always going to be a skeptic, and there's always going to be a reason why there's not. You're not going to convince them otherwise.
Hey, Bob,
as in somebody who's a Bigfoot supporter that says always a reason why it's going to be a Bigfoot. I try to stay in the middle. I mean, I use my gut half the time now, only because I've been up in the mountains and I've seen bears. I've seen different animals all over the world. So I look at it as like, okay, is this a suit? We can eliminate the suit. Then this is an animal. Is this a gorilla in the United States? Negative. There's no gorillas there. So obviously it's something else.
Well, wow, what do you think of this? The monks in the Himalayas have a Yeti crown. The fur on top of the head.
That's cool.
There it is.
That's
a Yeti
cool.
crown.
I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah. It's unusual. If you could find a picture of it, that'd be cool. If you type in Yeti crown.
I'm sorry, man. This is all for you right here.
What?
It was a Yeti hand. You know what we're talking about there, Bob.
Cállate, cabrón. Stopping with the hand jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, Wayne, it's an inside joke now about Bob and hands. It's an inside joke. Yeah. If anybody watched that one episode video that we have, they all know what I'm talking about. Well, let's move on to this picture now. This one here says, in October 2012, a group of siblings hiking in Provo Canyon they spotted a bear in the woods and started filming. When the creature stood up on two legs, the hikers ran, abruptly ending the sticky video. A year later, the siblings launched a Kickstarter campaign to investigate other Utah Bigfoot sightings. Now, this picture here is interesting because if somebody showed me this picture that they just took, now if a bear is standing up, you'll probably almost get one kind of a size from up and down. This one here looks very fat, like there's a circle. Then in the bottom, it goes very skinny into legs.
Yeah, that one I can't. I'm not even,
There's not enough there. There's not enough there to make a good guess,
Yeah, and that they have a Kickstart campaign. Give us money and we'll find more of these. Come on.
In Utah.
Utah.
In Utah,
a Mormon.
But if you're now think about this. If you're a Bigfoot living in Utah, you can have several wives.
Yeah, several wives.
I would not want to go to Utah, right?
Hey, this coming Monday, I actually have a research group out of Utah coming on.
No shit.
Yeah, mountain hominoids in Utah.
Oh, cool, man. We better not make fun of Utah people.
I wish I could zoom in. Look, he says a black rock. Zoom in. I'm trying to. I can't. I don't know if I can zoom. It won't let me zoom in.
Yeah,
I think though, if you watch the whole video on this, you see it moving some. So I don't think it's a rock.
I'm definitely not going to play this video because if they got a campaign on a FundMe, they own it and they own
the shit out of it.
Because one day I showed a video of one of our friends in UK getting jumped on by cops, and I show the video. Then I get this email from YouTube saying this is owned by a news channel.
Oh wow!
You have to remove it. It's like every footage is owned by somebody nowadays.
Wow.
Yes. So you always got to be careful now because they'll make you remove it. Here we go. Now this one.
That's interesting.
Now, in 2007, this is what it says. In 2007, hunter Rick Jacobs captured some of the most famous Bigfoot image to date with the camera mounted to a tree in Pennsylvania. So this is in Pennsylvania National Forest. His camera also captured a clear photo of bear cubs, offering evidence that the unidentified animal was not person. But skeptics believe the animal is just a bear sick. So they're saying this is a sick bear.
A sick bear cub with like the mange or something like that. That's what people are saying. And the fact that the other pictures do show more healthy looking bear cubs in the area leads me to believe that that's what it is, and just the angle that it's at makes it look more human.
Yeah, that's a chimpanzee.
That's what it looks like.
That's a damn chimpanzee. I'm gonna take a stab at it. If I were to be a betting man, I'd put money on a chimpanzee. They got a damn chimp. Now people own chimps.
Yeah,
privately owned. I know it's rare, but people do own chimps. They have chimp farms where they retire. They have people that own chimps. They can't raise them when they get older. They take them to the chimp farms. They do have chimps. A lot of them in the States. I think either it got away or somebody took their private little pet chimp and threw some shit out there for him to grab.
Yeah, but walking around with some bears. What is that?
A Pennsylvania Bigfoot. It's hard. But the problem is, Bob, you might be kind of right, because unless Bigfoot does crawl on four, this one is using all four legs.
There are a lot of reports of Bigfoot running around on all fours that they get around really well on all four.
Now, right
chimps
here,
are knuckle walkers. Say that's a chimp. They're knuckle walk. They actually have thick pads on their knuckles for knuckle walking. They can't stand all the way up. That looks like a damn chimp.
Starving bear. No, that's an unknown species of mammal. We don't know. Yeah, I mean, we don't. If we knew, we wouldn't be doing the show.
I mean, you just described Bigfoot. I mean, Bigfoot's an unknown species of mammal, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go to this next one. Now, this one here. Yeah, that's why you put matches in it. Now, this says locals in Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Another Pennsylvania one. Were baffled by a footprint measuring 17.5 inches found near a residential home in 1980. According to Associated Press, the footprint coincided with reports of strange noise and strong but unusual odor in the area. Odor, okay. That's one I haven't heard a whole lot of. Now, in your experience, Wayne, have you heard of people saying that where they saw a sighting, that they might have smelled something too?
The odor, yeah, you hear that all the time. It goes right along with it. The odor, and people will describe the odor different. Most of them I guess they perceive it different. I have never smelt the smell before, and people will say that you don't always smell the smell. Some people think that it's like a defense mechanism, like a skunk kind of, that they can emit this odor to kind of let you know that they're in the area. And then others say they just stink. They don't bathe like they should. So it is pretty well known that there is an odor attributed to them, but you don't always smell it.
And that's what I like about you. You could have easily said, yeah, I smell something every time I go out there. But you said it like we said, you have yet to smell something, and you're wanting to. You want to. I'd be curious too. But, but people say, if you go in the paranormal world, that sometimes on a spirit, you smell like sulfur, like rotten eggs. You hear stories like that all the time. And Bob, where you're living, and you believe that the place you're living in is haunted, not with Bigfoot, but you believe it is actually haunted. Have you ever smelled anything off?
I've been to places where I've actually smelled flowers, roses. Wow. I've smelled flowers. Like, it's a weird flower smell. And it shouldn't be the damp, bricky, rocky. It should smell like pungent ass, old stagnant. I hit like it'd be a whiff. A whiff. I have this thing about female ghosts. I can always.
Hold on. Bob, last Wednesday we had Vel from the Paranormal She's a medium, and she says when we asked her about smells, she said that she also smells flowers too. So
it's because
a lot of people say.
Well, it's an oil. Back in the day, they didn't have perfume and all, but what they did was they used a whale oil, because they use whale oil in the lamps and everything, especially like in England stuff. So they would use a whale the whale oil, and they would add flowers and scents to it, and then soak in it, and women would use that as perfume. And you could smell like an oily rose petals and flowers, real fragrant.
Yeah, and you know what? Vinny's correct here too. If there's cave systems around, cave systems smell like sulfur. So yeah, if you smell something, yes, you got to do your proper investigation to make sure that something else is not causing the smell. I mean, that's any good investigator. You debunk first. You debunk first because you want to get down to the evidence. You got to debunk until you can't debunk anymore, and then you look at the final stuff that you have left after you debunk everything around it.
That's a good guy. Humans stink, guys. Remember, I took anthropology, archaeology, and humans genetically stink. Males stink to offend each other. Everybody wears the deodorant. I don't wear it anymore, but people wear deodorant so you don't smell it. But if a man don't wear a fucking deodorant, you guys have worked next to dudes and holy shit, you showered? Yeah, I showered this morning. Come on, man. And so if these are like humanoid hominids, they're gonna stink.
Yeah.
They smell like probably sweat just like a man does. And then it comes with the beard and the hair, and
this was hard because we don't see the video footage.
This is the Freeman footage, right?
Yeah.
You know how I told you that the Patterson-Gimlin film was the gold standard. Paul Freeman, this footage right here is second, and it's not too far behind. This is really, really good footage right here that he got in, is it 1992 in Washington State?
It says right here. It says in 1994, former U.S. Forest Patrolman Paul Freeman claimed he saw a family of Bigfoots in Washington's Blue Mountains, where I live. I live right here in Washington. The video is shaky and grainy, but has been deemed the real deal by style Bigfoot experts.
Yeah, he what happened was they were in the middle of a drought, and it was really, really hot, and he become fascinated with the Bigfoot, phenomenon early on, and pretty much went out in the woods every day with the camera. And he knew that this area, that most of the water sources were dried up, and this was one of the very few that were left. So he was hanging out around there, going by each day, taking his camera, and he started noticing tracks, these huge tracks. And on this day, he saw the tracks, and he followed it and looked up, and one stepped out right in front of him, walked over a few yards. Looks like it picked up a little one and then walked back and then into the woods.
I think they're like the buck. You deer hunt buck, right? It sounds like the males send the females out with the underlings, and they let them kind of like the does. They graze out first. I think the males hang way back, and they send the. I just guessing.
No, that makes sense. Yeah,
right. They send the females out. It's the same with lions. Everybody,
like
lions,
they
send the females out. Bucks do the same thing. They send the females out while the buck sits there and waits, and it's safe for them to come out. Sounds the same thing like the Sasquatch.
There is a full-length video that's on YouTube, but like I said, I'm not going to play it just in case they strike me down.
Well, I mean, if it's on YouTube, you can share it, right?
Not even on YouTube. If somebody owns it. Now, usually the rule of YouTube, like friends within ourselves, we share videos, but we don't copyright our stuff with each other. But if you use big articles, news stories, kind of things, they'll strike you down so fast that Bob knows I got a strike for showing a trailer, a movie trailer, and I actually had to send an email to the company to get it removed. So I'm always extra careful, or I usually always ask permission from the person first if I could show it. It sucks, I know.
Yeah. But yeah, the Freeman footage, in my opinion, that's good stuff. really is.
Here's this one. I think I've seen this video. I've seen this video. This one is Mississippi resident Josh Hitchcliffe captured video of a potential Bigfoot while hunting on his property in 2013. Afraid to go back to the woods, he posted the footage to YouTube asking for help to identify the animals or for a prankster to come forward.
Is this the one where it was clawing at a tree, like pulling bark off of a tree and then stands up?
I think I was watching a Bigfoot show on Travel Channel, and this is the one he was scratching.
Okay, this one has been deemed the real deal too, as pretty convincing.
Pulling the bark off. I wonder what they use with the bark, because
people say they eat it.
Okay, because they pulled it off. I know they pulled it off the tree, and I guess there's some edible portions inside of a tree, according to, survival class.
People say they'll get grubs behind the bark, and eat the grubs and stuff.
Yeah,
I guess, wow.
The one on the right in that circle is a pretty clearer picture, looking a lot taller. And then
he's gonna rip it out of the ground and turn it upside down. Yeah, he's scratching up on the tree and pulling the bark off, getting grubs.
Sometimes people will have videos like on here, and you can get away with it, but I don't see any that they're allowing you to play. Okay, I gave it a shot. It would have been nice. Not like that first one. We actually saw footage.
We got lucky. That was the classic one. It's been overdone. That's why they could probably get away with it. Oh, he's a squatter. You see, it's reflecting.
Yeah, a hiker was walking through again Utah hills near Provo Canyon in 2012 when he spotted a large animal in the woods. As he approached the animal, stood up on two legs and started throwing rocks at him. Supposedly a trademark behavior of the Sasquatch.
Don't they? I think they hit wood together, or they hit the sides of trees or something. I think they clunk, 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 clunk. Somebody was talking about a name for it.
It's believed that they do what we call tree knocks, and that's pretty widely accepted and used by just about every researcher. I mean, including myself. I go out and I do tree knocks just to try to get a response. And people believe that the number of knocks that you get in return are telling you something. I can't say for sure, but that's the theory.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Because if they can't speak, they don't make any noise or grunts, but they would use math.
Well, right
as
here,
he wrote, wouldn't that be interesting?
Well, he wrote, "Pull off bark to find grub."
Yeah.
Now,
wouldn't that be interesting to do math?
It says, Eric, search the legend of Soggy Bottom.
Oh, the Soggy Bottom right here.
Oh, isn't that the movie with
Soggy Bottom Boys?
Yeah.
Soggy Bottom Boys. That's.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, this guy says if Bigfoots were real, they would need to eat so much. R.I.P. cows.
Well, they've got a whole forest and nobody around, so we don't know what they could just eat all day. They would have to eat the entire, like cows will eat all day until they go to sleep. Animals eat all day.
I think they eat a lot of fish, in my opinion.
They got to eat salmon. There's lots of salmon, trout, small rodents, bugs, grubs.
Here we go. My aunt and cousins went walking on a train tracks in the woods one day, and they heard all these sounds, and they were having large rocks thrown at them out from the forest, and they ran away.
Where was this at? I'm asking your viewer if she doesn't mind.
Tell her what state was this in?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's classic. That's classic behavior.
She's awesome. She has an awesome YouTube page herself. I was actually on her live chat last night. Not live, but I was in the chat. Just doing my.
That's interesting. Yeah, they throw their rocks at you.
The
Mothman. All the Mothman. I know.
All those stories, the Mothman and all that. That could all be Bigfoot.
I don't know about nowadays. Nowadays, everything's on the table for me. It just could be one of them interdimensionals that popped
Here
in.
we are. Hamilton, Michigan, Allegan County has some of the sightings. Hamilton, Michigan, Allegan County.
There's definitely sightings in Michigan, and Michigan, I believe Michigan is one of the more hot states for dogman sightings. But that behavior that she outlined sounded a lot like Bigfoot.
Wow.
What is this?
Wow.
No, it was an event that happened in Southwest Arkansas and Southeast Oklahoma, Talahuna, Oklahoma. Oh,
Must be. Yeah. So, how many states do you know about, dude, that actually have fit? What is the? Yeah. What are the states that you know about but the real? Like, yeah, I actually believe it's in certain states, but not other states. Which one do you think?
The only one of the 50 states of the United States of America that does not have a reported sighting is Hawaii.
Oh, really?
That's the only one. Every other state has had reports. Yeah.
What the fuck? Not Kansas,
you know
though.
What?
Not Kansas.
We have a friend, Joey Roca, who lives in Hawaii and stuff. I remember talking to him before that they're very proud of their Hawaii and there's stuff that goes on there that they don't want the world to know about, that they don't like. They just don't speak it to the world. It's always done by some outsider. I'm not saying that's the reason why there's no stories out of it, but he said real Hawaiians don't care for the outside people to know their culture and the beliefs that they have.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've never heard of any Bigfoot in Hawaii.
Guys, I know he has to go soon, so I know I asked this question before, but if one of our fantastic people in the chat go to your YouTube channel, and let me put that in the chat in again, just so people can have it. Let me put it back in the chat. This is his YouTube page. Would you recommend one of these videos for them to watch first of all your videos, just to kind of get a great idea of what you're all about?
It really depends on what you're looking for.
Okay.
One of the best ones that we've had in a long time was the Tennessee Bigfoot. The guy that came on, he is friends with Janice Carter. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but he's going to be introducing us to Janice Carter. She is the 50 years with Bigfoot lady. What's so interesting about her is this whole thing happened in my state, just not even an hour away from me, from where her grandfather became habituated with a family of Bigfoot, basically took care of them for 50 years. And she has just an incredible story. You guys want to check it out. She's going to be coming on our show pretty soon. And we're going to get out in the woods with her. She's going to show us some places. She's very controversial just because of all of the evidence that she's collected, and her story is just amazing. But she's collected DNA and stuff, and contributed DNA and hairs and stuff like that to some pretty reputable people. But yeah. The Tennessee Bigfoot one of our more recent ones, start there. That's a really good episode.
And
when she comes around and comes on, you come to our site and put it in. And go ahead and post it. Eric, let Eric know, and we'll post it in our site.
If you email me that event that she's coming on, I'll put it in my community tab so everybody knows. Yeah. Hey, let me check out this day with this person. You know, like you got people like her who subbed you. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Hell yes.
And before I get out of here, if you don't mind, I'd like to share something with your audience.
Go for it.
We I don't know how many of your people are real like Bigfoot fans, but if they are, they probably know about the Old Bear's Den of Bigfoot. He has a channel on YouTube, about 10,000 subscribers, does an excellent job. He reads encounters, and here lately, he's been doing interviews, kind of similar to what we do. But he's been on our show a couple of times because he's had, I think, 8 visual encounters with Bigfoot over the years. And him and his wife are going to be coming down. They live in West Virginia. They're going to be coming down to Southeast Tennessee, where I live, in just a couple of weeks, actually. And they're going to be filming a night investigation done by us, by Mannimal Research. We have some researchers from our different teams in different states. Our Virginia team's going to come in. Our Georgia team's going to come in. And we're going to do an investigation all night long. And then the following night, we're going to do an interview with him where he's going to sit and interview all of us. So I just wanted to get that out there if your guys could be on the lookout for that. That's going to be happening on October 9th and the 10th.
Perfect.
That's going to be awesome.
On the Old Bear's Den of Bigfoot.
And like I said, you send me that link, and I'll make sure I'll put it right there in the community, because people who watch our show are open-minded to everything. I mean, they're open-minded to paranormal, all this, because that's what all our shows we do is paranormal, Bigfoot, UFOs, aliens, Mandela effects. I mean, whatever out there, we do it. Looks like we got another guy who subbed you. I subbed to Mannimal also. Fantastic.
Appreciate that, Scott.
You guys should. You know, I don't recommend channels unless I really think they're a good special channel, that they're real. Because Bob and I say, we do our research on people, and this is the real deal. This is, he does his own research. It's like when we had Vel on Wednesday, we show footage of her doing the investigations out there. And I love the one footage where you guys were camping, and there was the government base that pulled up and said, then they stayed all night to really keep an eye on you guys. And that's what I love.
That was an interesting night.
Well, I know you got to run, and I want to say thank you for jumping on with us. You're fun. You're always welcome back anytime.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
All right. You have a good one.
Thank you.
You guys be good.
Take it easy.
All right, guys. He's awesome. I mean, I'm serious. I only tell people to sub channels who I feel that I could give an approval stamp, kind of like Grandpa's World, honest people who aren't just saying shit just to get clicks, fake clicks, whatever you want to call it. We just don't. So what's this here? A new sub here as well. Gary Cooper subbed him. Yeah, he's a real deal, and he's having some big people coming on, and hey, we got to help each other out,
Yeah.
So
it's
new sub here. Yes, it's real. We are very open-minded here. Exactly. And if you're not open-minded, I'll say this: get the fuck out. If you don't want to be open-minded to anything, get out. And it's like I told you just 1,000 times. I'll say it again. Say it again. If you're not open to the possibility of anything that can result into as a solution, then you're really not open-minded. You have to have everything on the table. Now, yes, Bob. Yeah, you might have this more on top, this more on top.
Yeah.
But you gotta consider all possibilities.
Well, you gotta see everything to know what's real and what's not. So if someone's coming on there's a bunch of frogmen living in my backyard. I've got pictures of the frog, and you're looking at it going, well, obviously this is latex. I can see the fake footage. You can see this. I can see the green screen, but you need something to judge the curve on when you're doing debunking. And so when somebody comes on with actual information, like, well, this looks real. This is plausible. I hear what you're saying, and I'm weighing it, and it's kind of plausible. So you got to have all of it. You got to have all of it to make that decision. You can't just have one side. You might as well just be a fucking closed-minded. I'm a scientist, and nothing else matters.
With that, let's go straight into Grandpa's World. All right, I'm gonna pull up a Grandpa's World story here. Let me get this up.
Cool.
Let me remove the comments so we can see it. In today's story, and remember, in my description, I put every video that I show of him in the description. So if you guys want to see this later, it's in the description. Here we go.
Hi, welcome to Grandpa's World. There's a grandpa here.
Oh, hold on. This is called Aliens Abducted Lucas and Benjamin. So this is about an abduction. Here we go.
We're going to do an alien abduction story on Lucas and Benjamin. Around 11:30, Lucas and Benjamin had gone to their sister's house to watch TV. They decided to go home when they noticed a weird star. The star seemed to be following them. When they got to the corner, they started to feel strange and walked towards a tree in the middle of a large field. They didn't want to go to the tree. They wanted to go home, but they was forced to go to the tree. And when they got there, they fell down and saw a strange floating object and then felt like they were in a dream. Eventually, the brothers woke up and went home. Their family was waiting for Lucas to tell the family what had happened to them, when a shock that traveled through the earth knocked them over. Just the two men, not the rest of the family. Lucas agreed to be hypnotized. He said that they were walking very fast, finally arrived at the star, and fell once again to the ground. They were taken up, floating along the way. The man opened the door and let them in. They were taken to a room filled with computers, then to a room filled with motors, into a room filled with pictures, and into a room with hospital equipment. It was in this room that they asked Lucas to lay down, and the aliens examined him and took body fluids. They put some type of instruments on his head and talked in a foreign language. They sent in a woman to be with him, and then she left. And then it was the brother's turn to leave. So the two men didn't want to tell their stories, and unlike all the other ones, we've changed the names because they didn't want theirs told. So that's all we have for Grandpa's World today. We'll see you later and have a good day.
That was cool.
And again, there's that word of fluids been taken away. You know? and that's going to come up, guys. That's going to come up in the what the fuck news I was telling Bob about. But beyond that, it's what's interesting, it's fun listening to them, is they thought it was just a regular star. They didn't think it was a ship right off the bat, but they noticed it kept like following. And then they were into a dream now substance after they realized what was going on.
Yeah, I've heard that. They literally think it's a star, and it's bright as a star, and then you just don't give a shit about it because it's a damn star. But all of a sudden, you notice that star is following you. Everywhere you go, that star is right there. And then next thing you know, they're waking up. People always talk about waking up. Like, I just woke up and I have these memories of being played with or whatever, body fluids taken, all that. What the fuck? That's weird. It's the same story all the time. You know, it's like, okay, there's some smoke, there's a fire there somewhere, man, because too many people have that same experience. Always something. They always have a mark on their body, or like I said, a scoop of flesh being removed. They like to take your DNA, man. I think of aliens like bees, like little ass bees picking up pollen, little grays or little whatever you want to call them. They're always taking pollen from you, then taking it somewhere and storing it. I don't know what the hell they do with it. Well, here we are in this place, so maybe we're all just products of the bees. Genetic wise,
yeah, we do live in a weird world, don't we?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Now, Bob, do you actually watch the news at all about the United States? I don't know if you have heard. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to turn this show.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Go ahead. I got caught up. I watched the debates. It was like watching a reality TV shows.
Not to say I don't want to get kicked off YouTube, whatever, but apparently a leader and a wife has caught the virus.
Conveniently.
Our leader has caught a flu. I know. It's like, really? Okay.
Cornholio. Got the cornholio. Yeah. He's got the cornholio, and him and his husband have got. So Donald Trump and his husband got the cornholio, and so now they're going to be quarantined and they can't do any more debates, Eric.
No debate. Wow, weird. Okay, that's fine. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to. I'm not changing the show into that, but
yeah.
Okay.
I saw that. Like, really? How convenient is that, man? I'm not stupid. I was like, are we stupid? How many people can put 2 to 2 together and say, homie just got himself an excuse to get out of the debate? It don't matter. He would have won anyway. It don't matter. So convenient. Now, he was right next to fucking Phantasm guy. So the Phantasm guy and then, Biff, they obviously both have it now. And everybody that was in there, come on, man. But go ahead. I didn't want to get political. I just watched it this morning. I was like, I finally got through it. It was painful. I was like, oh, God, come on.
I know. It's just like I said.
TV show, man.
I'm sure there's going to be 100 shows going on today all the way to the future about what is going on in America. Because next we're going to hear that the person he was debating is going to have it too. And then we're both going to hear both of them are both in the hospital dying. So we're
both in the hospital.
Maybe only 2 better candidates. Oh, I'll shut up. I won't say anymore.
They both got cornholio.
But I want to go into. We're gonna go into my favorite because I'm ready for this one. Here we go.
Welcome to What the Fuck News.
All right. Now there's Bob's got one and I got one. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys ready for mine? This is mine. What the fuck news? Here we go. This Chinese man claims to have sex with an alien. Okay.
Oh.
Apparently there's even a picture of what this hybrid baby looks like in this article, Bob. And it kind of just reminds me of, Bob got taken DNA. There might be an half alien and half Bob out there. And there's claims right here, June 7, 2020. So this is not an old article. This is actually an article from this year about a Chinese man that had sex with an alien.
Chinese?
An alien human sex is not something that's common topic of conversation. Really? Not? On this channel, it's kind of normal. So I don't know if it's not a normal conversation. I think we talk about it. The tale starts in June 7th, 1994, when Zagugu. I'm gonna call this. I'm not being prejudiced, guys, but I'm gonna call him Zagugu. Okay, when Zagugu was working at a logging camp and spotted lights and a metallic flashes from a nearby Mount Phoenix. When our hands Humboldt went to investigate what he assumed was a downed helicopter. Well, it wasn't a downed helicopter. I thought the helicopter had crashed, so I set out to scavenge for scrap. So Zazugu didn't really care at first for alien thing. He went to go savage and probably sell it on the market. What a bad man this guy is. Something hit me in the square in the forehead and knocked me out. Now something hit him in the forehead and knocked him out, Bob. Zagugu got knocked out.
Shit happened.
When Zagugu came to, he encountered a tall human female alien. Now I want to know how he know that was a female alien. Do we know that if a female alien has breasts? Because if it's an alien, why can't the men have breasts versus the women? It
could be an androgynous thing.
Well, we have God damn it, the little animals up in the snow area. Penguins. When a penguin has a baby, the woman don't take care of the baby. It's the man that actually sits on the egg the rest of the year. So maybe aliens have, so the aliens feed the baby. So I just want to make that clear. We can't say an alien is a female or male, or it could be binary. And if a human can be binary, why can't an alien be binary? But who cares?
Why can't they have Babylon?
Okay, now this alien has 6 fingers, but otherwise she looked completely like human. Well, what if this is it look completely like human? So then how do you really know it's an alien? Who cares? Some former story claims the alien had fur covering legs. Okay, maybe this woman never shaved. I don't know.
Sounds like a Sasquatch.
But what alleged happened next is where the story goes from bizarre to batshit insane. According to one version of the story, Zagugu was transported back home where he engaged in a marathon of 40-minute sexual encounter with a galactic visitor while hovering above his sleeping wife and daughter. So basically, he was having sex in the bed with his wife and daughter hovering over him. Holy Christ. Man, and listen, Captain Kirk of Star Trek has sex with aliens. I mean,
well, technically, he can get away with it then. It's not his fault.
If you're a single guy, there's no problems you having sex with an alien. Now,
but he's married with a child.
But now you're right, Bob. If he's married and a kid, you can't. Well, the alien possessed him to have sex with it. It's not his fault. Yeah. So here we go. When investigated by a doctor in September 2003, was deemed unusual and not caused by normal injury or surgery. So having sex, I guess, caused some injuries, but it wasn't caused by a normal type of person, I guess, having sex. But here we go. The strangest doesn't stop there, though, because a month later, Zagugu claims to have ascended through a wall to visit the aliens on their spaceship. So when on board, he requested to see his alien lover one more time. Must have been great sex, right? If he had great sex, you want to go back.
It's his lover, he named it. Okay.
Lover. While on the spacecraft, Zagugu was told that his human-alien hybrid son will be born on a far-away planet in 60 years. My God, it takes 60 years to pop out a baby?
Hell of a baby.
They said in Chinese, but with heavy accent, so it was hard for me to understand at first that they were refugees like me. They wanted to escape their former lives, so they left their dying home. Zagugu told. So basically, this alien ship left their home, and during this alien leaving home, probably got attracted to Zagugu and had sex with him, with his wife and out in bed, which is okay. Maybe
it'd be a menage a trois. He had a menage a trois.
Maybe in their custom, that's normal to have sex with your family in bed. Who are we to say that's wrong or right?
Judge not lest ye be judged. So I'm not judging that man. He had a menage a trois with a big ass hairy legged alien lady with 6 fingers.
So in addition to the medical exam Zagugu received in 2003, he was also subject to a polygraph test, which according to some sources, proved he was telling the truth. One of the stranger aspects of this story is the fact that Zagugu claims to have never heard of UFO or outer space people until he reported his experience.
My goodness.
Is there a picture? I thought right there. That's a picture of him. Now look at this sexy young man right here. An alien not sexy enough to have sex with.
My goodness, there's a big ass hairy legged alien that grabbed him with 6 fingers.
That's a picture of the ship that crashed. Wow.
That's what they look like when they crash. It must be his son.
Rough sex.
It must be a little bit of a Zagugu. Is that Zagugu Jr.?
That's Zagugu Jr.
Oh my goodness. He's got the ears and everything of Zagugu. You can see his face.
Now,
big ass head face.
I had to read the story because I was thinking, Bob, maybe one day they come back for you and you go take a visit to their ship. You might see half you running around that ship.
I might see my kid hanging out with Zagugu's kid. They might be hanging out together.
I should have made a picture of an alien with your beard. I did not. I should have. God damn it.
You see this one little alien kid with a Fu Manchu and the other one with a full-ass red beard. So you have a little Fu Manchu and a little bit of a full red beard kid hanging out. Yeah. Oh, Zugugu.
They want shorter kids.
Yeah. Oh, no. God. Well, yeah, because my kid would tower over. He'd be a big-ass beast standing over Zugugu's kid.
I want Ripley and the Queen in a two-way.
It'd be using him as a little bitch. A little Zugugu. Oh, that's so bad, man. You must want little kids. Okay, we're non-racist here. So what, guys? Some people like the Zugugu. Maybe it was attractive to them, somehow.
Guys, maybe one day that you might be laying in bed, you might see this alien thing floating above you, and somehow you're going to have sex with it floating above you. I don't know how that works. I don't know if it floats you up too or not.
It takes a little bit of the stress away from me having to do it all. I'm having to hit all the alien chicks. So we got Zugugu stepping up for a little bit of the action. They need we need something a little more tame. We'll go to China. They're a little smaller over there. Oh, Zugugu. Here we go.
There we go. Now, guys, this is Bob's What the Fuck News. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my little story, and hopefully one day I can actually get a found footage of Bob. Bob has alien. That'd be fun. Here we go.
Hello, welcome to What the Fuck News. Now, I'm doing some basic research. I'm kind of funning around a little bit, looking at the mitochondrial DNA, which is found in every cell. Every cell has mitochondrial DNA, which goes back to your maternal line, which is your mother, and your mother's mother, and your mother's 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 mother. And it keeps going back. They actually did a research project looking for the mitochondrial Eve, as they call it. Actually, it's a slang for it. There's a different word for it scientifically. But what was interesting enough is I was curious about the male mitochondrial DNA. We only ever talk about female mitochondrial DNA, the mtDNA, that's how they call it. If you look up mDNA, you're going to find Madonna. Oddly enough, Madonna has coined the mDNA, which is weird. Why would she do that? And especially with her dancing exes, that's not fucking weird at all in this timeline. Back to the mitochondrial DNA and female lines. What we have discovered now is that there is male mitochondrial DNA, which is the paternal one. There's a whole different name for that. We used to look up the male's line with the Y chromosome. Now, this is not the interesting part. What's interesting is that the sperm cell that we all looked at back in fucking school, back in the days when I was in fucking universities or whatevers, I had not seen that cell look that way. Now, the sperm cell looks completely different to me. And I know people have mentioned this before, but what they did not mention was that the majority of the male mitochondrial DNA is in the tail. Well, number one, when the fuck did we ever have male mitochondrial DNA? And now it's all located in the tail of the sperm. So when the sperm goes into the egg to fertilize it, the tail is cut off. It has a weird little cutoff point, kind of like how a lizard has a cutoff point where a lizard can lose his tail and still run around or whatever, and it grows back. Well, apparently now the tails fall off when going into the egg. And in the tail, it contains a lot of that male mitochondrial DNA. And some of it, weird, oddly enough, will make it inside. And if there's enough of it inside, you do have what they think now is birth defects and all kinds of weird effects. But that's not even the point. It's the fact that they have it and they can find it now. And yes, your cells do now carry male mitochondrial DNA. Now, they're doing research in my book on the female mitochondrial DNA that goes back about 6,000 years. No one's even talking about doing any research on the original cells or the original mitochondrial DNA, the male side, the patrilineal side. Now, you can look at it like this. Your cells can carry your DNA. Your DNA is who you are. It's a mixture between this and that, all kinds of different amino acids from mom and dad, grandpa and grandma, and all the different people. But the cool thing about the the maternal mitochondrial DNA, the mtDNA, is that it stays the same. So it actually stays the same up to about 5,000 years. So they're doing research across the whole back of the turtle to find out who was the original mother. But the problem is we don't know if there was an original mother. We don't know anything about the past at all. But they're still trying to put it in that direction, which falls into a camp of religion. But it's not going in the direction of religion because you can actually debunk that with multiple mothers. But it don't even matter there. Who gives a fuck about religion nowadays? Everybody cares about religion. What's important is the tail of the cell. The tail of the sperm does now carry male mitochondrial DNA. And I gotta say, what the fuck? Everything's weird in science and upside down. I don't know what to say. And now we're attributing a lot of our problems genetically with the inheritance of the male mitochondrial DNA. Again, what the fuck? But we can use it for forensic science, and we can surely find the bad guy. And that's What the Fuck News. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day.
Yeah, it was pretty cool information for people that know genetics. It's kind of interesting. What it is, Eric, your sperm cell, that's why it's all about, we're talking about sperm cell. In the tail of the sperm, now the sperm cell, the sperm actually looks different to me. It looks completely different, like a goddamn snake. Anyway, the tail contains male patrilineal mitochondrial DNA. Now, Eric, what that is, it's like, imagine a cell, and is your caravan, it's your camp trailer. You live in the camp trailer. Your nucleus is you. That's your DNA, Eric. So you're standing in your camp trailer. Now you've got about 5 or 6 fucking generators that's generating power. The generating of electricity and power come from your mitochondrial DNA. It's a little ass captured from way back DNA, whatever. But it has its own separate DNA. It's its own person. You understand that, Eric? In your cell, there's you, and then you have a generator that actually carries its own separate DNA. And it goes all the way back to your mother's side. So you could have people from all over that have the same exact damn generator with that same signature DNA on the maternal side, the mama side. So they were trying to do a thing called like the mitochondrial Eve and try to connect it all back to one woman, but they couldn't go past 5,000, 6,000 years because it seems that after that it changes. There's a whole new set of DNA that goes back. So they're confused about how far it goes back. So the Christians are excited because, like, hey, man, that means we were only 6,000 years old. Well, we don't know that because it stops. It doesn't mean it stops at 6,000 years. It means that's where that one female line stops. That's interesting. It can go back further than with the other ones they find. But what's interesting, Eric, is they found male, actual patrilineal mitochondrial DNA, if you guys are following me, that if in a cell, as the zygotes or whatever, as a cell is forming a human, it seems to send like a little acid or whatever, and it kills all the male mitochondrial DNA. The tail is cut off, where right now there seems to be a lot of male mitochondrial DNA in the tail. I don't ever remember that. A lot of information there. It gets cut off in the cell, and so now they have remnants of male in there, and so it kills it off. So basically there's nothing left but the female mitochondrial DNA that comes back to whatever original female somewhere. They use that to trace it with. But recently there has been an epidemic problem in science, we'll call it, in the medical field. They're starting to say now, Eric, that because some cells now are getting more of the male mitochondrial DNA, it's a different running generator. So it's not compatible with the female generator within the cell. It's fucking things up. It's called heterocropsy or whatever. It's got it's got the male and the females in there, and they're not compatible within the cell, and it's causing all these problems. They're attributing it to Alzheimer's. They're attributing to all kinds of things because now somehow, because there's so much male mitochondrial DNA in the tail, and somehow sometimes it gets in that fucking cell when it's not supposed to be, it gets cut off, that tail, it's getting in there. They're just saying it. I don't believe shit. But they're saying it might be one of the reasons why people have diseases, dude. Because bottom line is because of the male, the original male mitochondrial DNA that's mixing in, that's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be all female in males and female cells. You know, a guy and a girl, don't matter. It's the same kind of shit. But because of the male mitochondrial DNA, it's mixing up in there and polluting it. They consider it dangerous. And it's causing, they're attributing to all these genetic problems. I go, since when? Now, I've heard about the mitochondrial DNA, and I've heard about it being one, it's had its own fucking DNA, and they can take it back to whatever mother, whatever they want to talk about. But I've never heard about no damn male. And so now I guess cells carry it. Not much, and not all of them, but some of them do. And that's what they're contributing to all these diseases over. It's another excuse for diseases. I'm like, what the fuck? They have instruments that can detect it now. And they even did a Romanov. He was the Russian czar. They found his bones, dude. And so these forensic scientists are now using this to determine, this is where it comes, there's a good news about this for you and me, by the way. They're using it to determine that he was actually the czar of Russia by not only checking the female, the matrilineal mitochondrial DNA, but they also checked the male. The male, they found male in there, mitochondrial DNA, and they checked it to the father side. Now, they used to just check the Y chromosome, but that could be all mixed up. But now they have two to check in these machines. They could really find out where you came from. Now, you and I, Eric, I'm a king of fucking Wales, and you're the Duke of Wales. So if they wanted to do a genetic test on our cells, dude, they could trace us back to a single line strand to a mother, which follows that fucking line to the royal crown. And, Eric, they can also check the male side to see if we carry the male mitochondrial DNA that goes right back to the original King of Wales. Two ways. So forensic scientists are now having a hard on because they could really trace shit now. They used to trace it through one side, matrilineal. But now they could trace it to the father side, patrilineal, doing forensics tests.
Now, could that be...
And they really nail it down, like if this person is a body found, they've traced it to the mother. Now they could trace it to the father using the mitochondrial DNA as a signature.
It also
as a signature
dangerous in a way where they could also use the technology to manipulate. Where if they want to say they found out that they're not the queens or kings, you know, and they want, you know, we were the actual people, but they could probably use that technology and splice a DNA into another test to make somebody else rather than us taking the spot. Yeah,
they can lie. You would have to have somebody who doesn't lie.
Yeah.
I mean, you can lie about anybody. Any scientist can fucking lie. I mean, the royals do it all the time. And fucking, they even passed a law the queen passed a law that says you cannot check their lineage. It's against the law. You can't do it now. You can't tell them that they're not part of the royal line, and you can't do any background checks because they passed a law. They can't do no genetics, no nothing. So they've locked it down. You can't check our DNA. But it's interesting that the sperm cell's tail is now packed 100% filled with male mitochondrial DNA. I'm like, when the fuck did this happen? I never remember this. I don't know, a lot of people I probably don't know even what I'm talking about. It's just something you learn in when you're studying anthropology and genetics. I studied genetics, and there was just nothing in the tail other than the tail, and it was swimming and whatever it did its job, but now it's packed filled with it. So if some of that tail gets into that egg while fertilizing, it didn't get cut off completely. It's just going to be infected. The cell is going to be infected with the male mitochondrial DNA. And according to the scientists now, that's going to fuck up the cell. It's going to cause all these, it's the cause, they think, maybe, of all these birth defects. They think it's caused Alzheimer's. They think it's the major cause for a lot of things.
Never know.
It's sad that it's put back on the man. It's the male mitochondrial DNA that's causing all the problems in the fucking cells. Take it with a grain of salt, people. Take it with a grain of salt.
Men are just we're assholes. We're even assholes in the DNA.
In the science world.
DNA, I tell you, DNA.
Well, it also goes along with females who procreate with the male, and now they've said, and again, I don't believe any of this shit. Females will permanently carry the cells of the males that they had procreated with permanently. So if you a gal that had multiple partners, you're gonna have multiple cells in your head. Again, I'm not believing anything they're saying anymore. It's just a big ass comic book. Everything's fake for me. It just seems like another fucking stupid hole, another lie, that almost to demasculate men. You know, I'm like, you're really putting it on guys.
Well, look at that male DNA that got mixed in these aliens. Look at that beard.
They're obviously carrying my mitochondrial DNA in there. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
DNA's powerful.
It is. Yes. They got my red beard. Yes. Yes. So somebody did get back to me about they read they actually did their homework. Congratulations. And they said, how the fuck did you do it? I said, I didn't do nothing. They said, Eric? They go, how the fuck did you do it? I said, I didn't do nothing. It's just there. It's there. Somebody wouldn't look at the Betty and Barney Hill story. Like I said, to go do your homework, people. And they said, dude, in the literature, it says there is a big ass red bearded man in the story of Betty and Barney Hill. I said, told you so. I was right there with them. And he said, there's a story. I said, it's in the story of Betty and Barney Hill. There's Betty reported. And there was the aliens, and then there were this. And then there was a strange white man with she called him an Irish man with a long red beard. He was speaking some weird language. And so if you guys want to go check out the story of Betty and Barney Hill, you're going to find the red bearded man in there. I did not put it in there. I magically willed it in there in the story now.
It makes me sick the way that these information priests lie and lie and lie. I can't stand it.
Yeah. You know, I got to go do my research. I went to multiple sources. I didn't just stick with the Wikipedia. At the University of Washington, I know about reading the medical papers. So I went to the actual science papers. The science paper, of course, they're online. That's the biggest flag right there. But I read science papers, not Wikipedia, not fucking Fakepedia. I read a series of science. I did multiple notes on a series of science papers, and they're all loaded with this patronyl mitochondrial DNA. I was like, when the fuck did this come about? There was no male mitochondrial DNA. It's there. And of course, as you read it, it immediately goes to, if you have too much of the male mitochondrial DNA, you are susceptible to all of this genetic problems. I was like, oh shit.
You never know.
Along. Skinny jeans
if they could figure out what the issues are, they could probably use the DNA to maybe refix you the way you should be.
Yeah. Well, they're doing it. It's called, there is, correct.
Bob, are you wearing gray?
No, you said it right. There is now it's controversial, Eric. There is a 3-party. So they have used 3 different people. So now with an egg, if an egg is fertilized and they know it's got too much male mitochondrial DNA, there's going to be genetic problems. So what they're doing is they're going in with the needle, they're removing the nucleus from that cell. That's you, that's the person, that's the living thing, pulling it out of that cell and placing it into a third party, a completely different person. So within this cell, you have a husband and a wife that procreated or whatever, and they have their baby within that cell. They remove that cell and put it into a third party's cell. Boop. And they have a normal amount of just female mitochondrial DNA in there. And now the baby is being born. They've already done it. It required not 2 people, but 3 different little things of DNA. It required 3 different people.
How does the needle know? When you stick needle in, how do they know they're pulling the right percentage out?
Well, they're pulling the entire nucleus out of the entire cell. They remove just the nucleus, which is the living part of it. Like, imagine a cracked egg, Eric. You crack an egg, you have the white, and then within that you have the yolk. They have a needle of some sort that pulls the entire yolk out and puts that yolk in an entirely new egg, into an entirely new egg sac, and it has all that fluid in there. That's a good fluid. So you have an egg with a yolk with bad fluid. Within that bad fluid of the egg, you have too many male mitochondrial DNA, which is going to cause too many genetic problems. They pull that yolk out and put it into a new egg with good fluid, with just the normal, I guess they call it, mitochondrial DNA from the maternal side. And so it takes 3 different people. So when that child is born, and they have done it, a child was born of 3 people, not 2, 3 people. So we're at the point of science now, and it's been done. This is not something that someone's saying. This has been done. There is a walking human being out there right now that is a product of 3 different people. You're getting the yoke. We're at that point now, man. Now, I'm not into the Bible shit, but you gotta. Sometimes I'm like, okay, they talk about this being like a time where everyone's just doing too much genetics, all kinds of crazy shit. Now you got kids with 3 different sets of DNA from 3 different partners. We're really out there, man. This is not. I ain't gonna call it Armageddon, but I'm calling it this fucking science on its fucking extreme, man. I'm like, when did this shit come out? Where are we at now? This is crazy. Crazy information, man. And again, guys, do your own research. Look up patronyl mitochondrial DNA. So look it up. Just look that up.
Beyond
you guys
that,
have all this interesting information.
Yeah. Beyond that, we'll do our last segment, and this is going to be. This is the segment. I love that sound. I want to hear that sound again. Now, this is going to be a little different. This isn't going to be no Whopper machine today on this one. But this is actually kind of a discussion question of Nelson Mandela himself. And this is my question. Okay. Now I'm not saying real, not real, guys. Just go along with me on this one. So don't go crazy on me. What I'm about to say. Nelson Mandela. His name Mandela is the name of you want to call it false memories, different memories, whatever. It was coined in 2009 by Winona, whatever her name is, as Mandela Effect. Because the story goes, he died in the 80s, but he really died whenever he dies. Now, the word residue, everybody's supposed to have residue on everything. And when I actually try to look up residue for Nelson Mandela of anything that says he died in the 80s, and I got to be honest here, maybe I'm not looking right, or maybe I'm looking wrong. And this is why I wanted to have this discussion with you and people in the chat. I can't find nothing that says any kind of residue at all saying that he died in the 80s. Only thing I can hear is people saying that they were there, which half of that is all, 90% of that's all bullshit.
Oh, lies. I'm so sick of the New Agers saying that they were there. No, they're liars.
Beyond that, I never liked the name Mandela Effect anyway. I always thought it cheapens the parallel universe theory, not theory, but a different guidelines of why if a thing's changed, why did it change? And they use the word Mandela Effect, but I'm still wondering how they even came up with this name when I can't even find any kind of actual residue to even put in the Whopper machine. I was trying to find residue to put in the Whopper machine, not as a joke, but like, is this a real Mandela effect? Nelson Mandela himself. I can't find nothing on Nelson Mandela about him dying.
Well,
I can't even find.
I saw his funeral. I saw his funeral with Dad. Yeah.
But I mean, okay. But how did you see it? That's what I'm trying to get at. People
I watched it on television. I watched it with Dad on television.
But,
so I think you were up at the ski lodge at that time.
See,
I think you were working at the ski lodge.
The thing is about me is I don't have. Listen, if it wasn't for honestly, if it wasn't for Mandela Effect, or they made a movie about Nelson Mandela and that rugby football team that won the championship in the Olympics, wasn't that? I don't give a fuck about Nelson Mandela. I never covered Nelson Mandela. I never even knew this guy went to jail for his cause and came out.
Yeah.
He wins president. But come on, people, be honest in the chat. Do you even know who's president now in Africa or who was in the past?
I saw the funeral. What I saw was I remember sitting with Dad, and I remember I didn't know who the fuck he was. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is like at 89. You were up at the ski lodge, working at the ski lodge, I think at that time. So I was just meandering around the house. They had it on the news. Now it wasn't on there's no CNN, no big ass news station. This was a local ass channel. And it was so quick, so small, so simple that anybody and everybody could. I don't think he actually died. I think it was fake because you couldn't see. They didn't show him. They showed prisoner. They showed the guards. I remember seeing the guard. I'm thinking back. Even that's blurred up. I remember seeing the guards and mostly them saying it. So there was no body. In my theory, he never died. It was a CIA setup to get in front of the fucking name. The dude never died. It was a fake fucking funeral. There was nobody mourning on the outside of the prison. No family was on the outside. There was nobody on the outside of the prison. And I'm like, I know this famous guy has nobody at his funeral except for guards. I remember Dad even saying, I remember Dad saying, I go, who's Nelson Mandela? And Dad says, oh, he's he was the leader of a guerrilla group that had killed women and children. I said, what?
Pause for a second. Let's do a shout out to our good friend, Scrap Performance. Hey man, we want you on our show. We want to do. We want you to be a guest. You and your friend Fizzy Poop Pop to be a guest on our show. I'm serious. I like. You guys are awesome. I love your channel. I like your Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday is a great show, and I would love to have you guys with us on our channel. And if you come on our channel, if you want us on yours, you probably don't. I don't blame you. We'll go on your channel too. But
you can take a piss while you're on.
Yeah,
and I'll let you do it.
But,
you can take a piss while you're on.
Next week, I have an opening Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You pick a day. You come on, man. We would love to have you on. Hey, have us on.
You can take a piss while you're on.
He should have us on. He should come on before he does his Freaky Friday. That'd be awesome. Love to see this guy on.
So yeah, Eric. No, I remember the funeral, but I don't remember nobody out front. I don't remember it being a big deal. In fact, it wasn't even played in it wasn't even in Africa. You don't hear the story playing anything but like industrial European countries like America, maybe Britain. It wasn't even anywhere. I mean, it was like local news station, a snippet. It was so quick that nobody could remember it anyway. I remember how fast it was, and it wasn't a big deal. But then, ironically, he's out, all right, like 90-something, and then all of a sudden, he dies in 2013. Really? Source code 13. He dies in 2013. And then you have Barack Hussein Obama standing there giving a speech, and you have this interpreter that was not interpreting sign language correctly. They say I watched the interpreter, and me and Dad sat there and watched. I said, I thought he's dead, and Dad goes, yeah, he is dead. He was dead. Well, I guess he's not dead now, but now he's dead. I remember even Dad remembered he died, and so we're both laughing at the interpreter because the interpreter kept saying in sign he has a bad heart. He kept pointing at Obama and saying he has bad heart. And we're like, Dad knows Indian sign. And we're laughing. Dad goes, he's saying that Obama has bad heart. The interpreter over and over again at his funeral, at his second funeral, he's saying he has a bad heart. He kept doing his stupid signs, bad heart. And then he disappeared, the interpreter, after the funeral.
And that's another thing. Okay, if we get everybody together and we talk about Jeffy, peanut butter, remembering difference of the peanut butter, I could get that. I could get that behind anybody about Jeffy peanut butter. But it's just, you can't tell me that 80% of people in Mandela Effect remembers a story that he died, because like I said, nobody knows who the presidents are in Africa. And I'm not trying to say something bad, but I'm just saying we're using a name for this paranormal, word changing, movie changing, for all this, a name of where nobody even knew until that lady coned it.
Yeah, Verona Broom
Verona Broom coined it, and now everybody says, "Oh yeah, I remember when he died."
It's a joke, dude. It's a joke. Verona Broom, she's a witch, right? She wrote witchery. Verona Broom, and then you get like Anthony Weiner that gets busted for fucking showing his dick on. Anthony Weiner gets all these stupid names for people that it's like, come on, what is this? A comic book, man? Verona Broom, broomstick of Anthony Weiner showing his wiener. All these stupid things are popping up around the time.
Maybe it's Mandela. Nelson Mandela is his middle name. Means troublemaker. It's just kind of funny. Yeah,
it is. He was the 13th son. He was the 13th child, not son. 13th child. He dies on 2013. No, man. I ain't buying this.
Well,
I ain't buying no history.
Like I said, I believe things have changed, and we don't have a reason why they've changed. I believe that.
Yeah, well, I'm from Sagittarius, so I know they've changed.
I just can't believe the Nelson Mandela himself, because, like I said, I never heard of this fucking guy until people brought up Mandela Effect, or that movie came out with Matt Damon's in it about rugby winning the rugby title in the Olympics. Now I'm gonna ask this. See what it says when it died. Alexa, when did Nelson Mandela really die?
Nelson Mandela was president of South Africa between May 10, 1994 and June 14, 1999.
Okay, Alexa, did
hold on, 94, 99, 9 and 4 is 13. Okay, go ahead.
Alexa,
I'm not sure.
Alexa, did Nelson Mandela ever die in the 80s?
No. Nelson Mandela is not someone who died from January 1st, 1980 at 12 a.m. to December 31st, 1989 at 11:59 p.m.
Okay. So, beyond that, okay, now you said you saw like on TV, and maybe that's where most everybody have seen it on TV. But is there any articles that you know of that maybe somebody has a residue that was written in a story that he died? I'm not talking about from another Mandela channel.
Somebody wrote an obscure book in Africa. That's what I heard. Like a little bit. Take a look at that, Eric. Okay, 1994. 9 plus 1 is 10. 9 and 4 is 13. Equals 113. You look down here, that's when he became president. And now he died in 2013. Really? Come on, man. I mean, it's just the 13s are all over this guy. The 13th, he was the 13th child in his group. The dude is riddled with the threes, man. So, to me, that's a red flag all the way down the line. I don't believe anything at the moment. Anything. I don't believe maybe he was even in prison. Who fucking knows at this point?
Yeah.
Everything's been a lie. everything. So they use this guy's name so people can run around coining everything a Mandela Effect because of shithead here, which has really put a derogatory spin on it, which is exactly what it was supposed to do. The intelligence department was smart enough to get in front of it. I mean, they might as well have called it the Adolf Hitler effect, because that would actually have another dirty name for it, you know, just to make people look stupider and stupider. But the majority of people don't have it anyway. They're just actually mentally ill. So, I mean, I have my memories, but, you know, this guy with his, I ain't buying shit. And also, he was he's aboriginal to the Pan people of the desert. There's a desert people that were one of the original aboriginals of Africa, the Pan people that live out in the desert. If people have watched, there's a movie called The Gods Must Be Crazy, where they dropped the Coca-Cola bottle. Hell, Dan Garcia's out there. He'll fucking remember. He'll remember The Gods Must Be Crazy with the Coke bottle. Right now he's going, okay, I know what he's talking about. He'll talk about it on his show. This guy comes from the same people. How ironic that they picked the Aboriginal representative of Africa, not just anybody. He comes from the Pan people, from those people where the gods must be crazy. The gods must be crazy with the Coke bottle. So people go back and look at that Coke bottle also and see what you remember about the Coke bottle that falls in that movie. The gods must be crazy.
Let me answer this question for our friend here.
Yeah,
I am shocked they don't have Karen B on the talk about her Bigfoot love experience and experience with 50 Shades. Just to let you know, Karen B has been on our channel before on a Bigfoot channel, on a Bigfoot show. So she's been on here before about Bigfoot. Now,
you want me to, I ain't jumping into that. That's funny, but I ain't jumping into it.
That's huge concert with a bunch of artists signing ME songs, basically.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So I got so much, only because of anthropology, I know a lot about this guy and his people, his actual people.
A lot of core music world. With the Sinbad movie, there would have had to be an entire cast and crew, writers, craft services, people near the filming location. So what do they remember now? Yeah, you know,
right? Yeah.
And like I said, I believe things have happened, things have changed, but I just can't accept that Nelson Mandela himself had died twice. Because too many people said they remember this, and I'm sitting there and thinking to myself, how do you remember this? Nobody knows presidents of Africa. Nobody does.
Especially at that time. No. The apartheid. Nobody knows. Again, I remember the funeral, but it was small. It was insignificant. It was in between like the weather and like some fucking dog thing. Like, dogs now they all need licenses. Make sure you license your dog. On the other news, dictator Nelson Mandela died. Real short snip. Only in the European countries. Nothing in Africa. Nobody else. It was quick. Like brushed it right over. And now with the weather, you know, who cares?
Here's another one. Like I wrote,
Yeah.
if there was a movie, it had to have happened in a totally tangent timeline. And that those most closely involved in the film would have from here only, while those who remember the film are from elsewhere. You're right, because when you're making a movie, I don't care if it's a bad movie or a small movie, you have tons of people working there, tons. So from other people there, it would have leaked. But none of those people remember anything about a Sinbad. I'm not saying there was a movie or not. I'm not saying that. I don't remember ever being a Sinbad movie because, first of all, I never liked Sinbad. I never thought Sinbad was funny. So I'm not going to be a liar and say, oh, I remember that. Listen, I don't like Sinbad. Never did. Never cared. So I never even heard of a Sinbad movie until people mention it. But you would think, not from articles or whatever, that the people themselves who worked on it would have said something that, yes, there was a movie.
Yeah, I think there was. I actually think there was.
To my knowledge, I have not heard one person who said they worked on the film that has knowledge of it. That's all I'm going to say. There might be.
I know, like Beam Me Up, Scotty. I remember Beam Me Up, Scotty. And again, I can contribute that to like the movies. They're changing it on purpose, or they're changing it online, and everyone's playing the hush hush game with the Freemason world. I was in the Freemasonry. I know how they all lie. Guys, the Freemasons are professional actors. When you go up through the steps of what you're going to go through, I'm going to be put into the water where the tide's going to come up. Fuck them. I don't give a shit. I don't die. But anyway, you have to go through all of these like a Dungeons and Dragons game. You got to read all of these lines and memorize them and do a performance in front of the other people, like a damn ass acting fucking thing. So I know what Freemasons do. They practice, they lie, they lie. And it's all part of the game they play. And I know for a fact because, I was in it. So I don't care anymore.
The only last thing I will say, and I'm not doing a shout out on purpose, but when I was on maybe it's Mandela channel yesterday, and they were talking about they were showing stuff. They were showing like residues, that kind of stuff. So when they do stuff like that, I could get behind that and say I can see their point. Okay, plausible points of why. That's a real
only plausible.
It's a real channel to me. But I can't accept certain things when, like Sinbad and Nelson Mandela, when I don't feel like anybody really has concrete, any kind of evidence. Like you're right, Bob. Like the movie of Moonraker with the braces. Now, like I said, that's more of a memory for me that I remember the braces versus Dottie not having it. For me, for me.
But don't obsess. I like how she puts, just don't obsess. We don't obsess over it. I don't obsess.
And I don't
put it in
obsess.
people's faces either. I don't obsess.
That's why I don't really bring it up too much, because I don't have evidence to say it. But I do believe it in my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm honest to say that.
Yeah. Because I was just reading about Noah, and it was interesting for me. Then this is something that you guys should. I was reading out of the book, out of the Bible that I have, the King James Version, and I was reading the section where God says he had put when Noah got where he was going to go. I'm not going to go word for word. Shit. He talked about a bow in the sky. God had put a bow in the sky. And I was sitting there scratching my head, and I'm thinking to myself, wasn't it rainbow? But it doesn't say rainbow. I didn't read that part, so I can't tell you if it said rainbow. I just know it says bow now. So in my mind, it says bow, and it says God has placed a bow in the sky for Noah to see. And so what does he mean by a bow? Now, bow means a lot to me in code. So I looked up what is in the sky that's a bow other than a rainbow. I said, okay, a bow. A bow is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is represented by a bow. So God has pointed up to the bow in the sky. This is just me, and I'm probably wrong, 99.9%. I probably am. But I was thinking, the bow and arrow from Sagittarius. And what else has changed? I looked at Sagittarius descriptions in the constellations. There's a bow in the sky. Also a teacup. I go, a teacup. Where have I seen a teacup represented in this new weird-ass comic book we live in? I looked at the Statue of Liberty, and the flame has changed to me in my mind. I'm psychotic. It looks like a teacup. I go, so the fire in the fire in Statue of Liberty's torch is now a teacup representing Sagittarius. So I'm just putting little clues like that in my head, but those are probably wrong. It's just me putting an idea behind it. Doesn't mean it's true. So don't ever take what I say and debunk it first. But it's just it makes me scratch my head and say, odd. The bow has changed. It used to be rainbow. I remember everyone saying rainbow. Noah saw a rainbow. But now it's just a bow. But why just a bow? Well, I'll do the research on a bow. According to astrological, I know the stars. Oh, it's Sagittarius. I got it, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to remain sane. But at the same time, I'm not obsessing over it. I write notes. Like Eric would joke about, I write notes. I close my book. And I forget every day anyway. So I go back and reread my notes. I don't stress over anything. Don't put it in people's faces.
I changed my mind. I'm going to put Nelson Mandela in the Whopper because I want to know if there's enough residue out there in the internet world to say Nelson Mandela is a true Mandela effect. I'm gonna do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Where's that Whopper machine? I'm gonna send it to them to do it for. So, all right, Whopper machine, is Nelson Mandela, that guy right there, is he truly a Mandela effect in this world? I need to know. No,
Totally correct.
Mandela effect. So why can't they name? They should have named it that character from a Monopoly guy. Penny, is it? What's his name? Not Penny.
Money bags or penny bags? I can't remember.
Penny bags. Penny bags effect. They should have
Penny
called
bag,
it Penny bag effect, because at least
Or the effect, or the douchebag effect, or the dumb effect. I don't fucking. All I know is it causes fights. It does nothing but cause fights.
Oh, it's
I have got more arguments with people over it. That's why I don't do it anymore.
It's Uncle Rick penny bags.
There you go. It's designed to cause a fight. It's designed for you to argue with your friends, your neighbors. It's designed for you to fight. I have got nothing but anger from it. So I just simply have it in my head. I might talk to someone that might have an idea. I say that's plausible, and I move on, and I don't obsess. Don't form no cults. I don't get in no groups. I want to stay the fuck away from it. But I acknowledge at the same time that I know that I'm not crazy, that I'm remembering something weird. Again, I checkmate the queen in chess. So I'm really off the fucking base, way off the base. Also, I want to talk to Dan Garcia about Sum 41. It's always been Sum 41, not Sum 42, Sum 41, because they used to tour with Blank 182. So why would they be Sum 42 with Blank 182?
Oh,
It'd be
wow.
Sum 41 with Blank 182.
Breaking news on my Alexa machine.
What's that?
Lion King, there's going to be a sequel to the real live action movie. Woo!
Real action movie? How are they going to pull that off?
Tokyo
It was a play.
First complete outage. Oh, I bet you that'll be a conspiracy.
Ooh, there'll be a conspiracy behind that. Be conspiracy behind everything. This place is one big ass conspiracy.
A lot of core music. I don't understand the Whopper machine. Well,
there's always a conspiracy.
I'll explain the Whopper machine on Monday. We hit over our 2-hour mark. I think this is a point to end the show. I guess there's been some action going on in the chat. I don't know what the last part was. I wasn't following it. You know, I was more into the Nelson Mandela thing. But honest, guys, today was awesome. I think the guest we had on today, he's a great freaking guy. His channel, Mannimal Research, is the real deal. Laugh out loud. That makes no sense. Oh, okay. Hey, nothing makes sense, right, dude?
Nothing makes sense.
We're here because nothing makes sense, and
nothing makes sense. But we know who the bad guy is. That makes sense. Just focus on the bad guys. Don't matter if you have it or you don't have it. If you have the infect or don't infect, you know who the bad guys are. So that's why I have friends on all sides. We all know who the bad guys are. Focus on the bad guys.
This is what I like. This is what I like.
Don't focus on each other. Don't fight with it. It's designed for you to fight with each other. You can't be an army and if you're fighting each other. So fuck the Mandela effects. Get on the same side and look at the bad guys.
Let's have fun. Like here, I like what she says. I feel that, Tony. I seek the truth too. We're just being cool here. That's it. That's all we're here for. To find the truth.
Tony knows who the bad guys are. Ask him about the bad guys. You'll be on his good side. He knows who they are. Yeah.
None of you, even in the chat, none of us have the 100% all answers to the things we're looking for yet. But we're looking. That's all we can do.
But you know who the bad guys are, and they're not friends, and there's nothing. They're up there in the elite circles. You know who they are.
This is why This is why the show is called Gypsy Road Journey into the Unknown, because it is truly an unknown and nobody has answers. Nobody.
Yeah.
We're all kind of put the pieces together, work together, and find the answers in a cool way. Maybe one day we'll get it, or maybe we won't get our answers until we die. I'm serious.
Yeah.
We won't.
I'm going to get it this year. I think I'm going to get it this month.
This year?
I'm going to get it this month.
Yeah, but Bob, how you get it this year when everybody else is saying it's Armageddon, we're all going to die?
I'm going to see something's going to happen this month. I have a gut feeling it's going to be
die, and that's when we get our answer. So maybe according to the religion people that Armageddon is here, we're going to die, and that's when we get our answers. Okay.
Yeah, I could care less. I live in a backpack. There could be a massive flood. I'm going to be fine. I don't mind. I mean, I'll pray for it. Can you please just give us a reset? I've got a backpack. It don't bother me. I got no money anyway. Let me just fucking float.
You know what this Alexa is saying right now? I want you to read this. Before we go, can you read that?
No. You have to put a big picture. I can't read it.
It actually says, Alexa, tell me activities I can do while social distancing.
What can you do?
Fun and learning, aquariums, zoos, and museums are offering virtual tours of their exhibits and galleries online. Some folks are staying active and relaxed with workouts and meditations, while others are taking a moment to do some spring cleaning and start on hobbies they haven't previously had time for. Also, you can always ask me to entertain you. Just say, Alexa, entertain.
Oh, I know.
For fun and learning.
Hold on, guys, I got to do this. Alexa, entertain me.
Great. Let's find you something entertaining. Would you like fun stories, audible, jokes, novelty and humor, or lyrics? Or you can ask for more options. Here's one. I tell you an umbrella joke, but it might go over your head.
That's the stupidest joke I ever heard. I'll tell you an umbrella joke, but it might go over your head.
Oh my God. It's like a family-friendly joke. Oh, well.
This is what you do when you're 14.
Yeah, that's good. They can't be saying mean things.
All right, on that, I got to end the show because I can't take any more of these bad jokes, man. Hey, everybody, today was fun. It was great. I'll see you guys all on Monday. So, love you all.